I can't wait to play these new arcade games.
You mean trade simulators?
What?
So back in the 1880s, they had these games that were mostly found in like general stores called trade simulators, where you could win either stamps or cigars. This later progressed to machines such as air hockey or even mutoscopes, which are devices where you can watch a movie through slides.
Oh, really? But those games weren't electronic like these. They're mechanical. That's boring.
No, but imagine what games will be like in 2019, for example. Instead of this, you might not even have to leave your house. This might be boring compared to that. When you think about it, games back then were a technological marvel of their time.
Okay, but can we just play?
No, we can't. This is just a green screen.
We decided to do our FEDD project on the invention that is the arcade machine. We wanted to do something classy and respectable for our specific topic, so we chose the pinball machine. Now, the journey to get to where we needed to be is going to be a windy one and a twisty one. It'll require creativity and the ability to step outside the box.
To tackle this project, we looked to the engineering design cycle. Our first step was to assess our needs, problems, and restraints on the project. Our problem was to design a fun, reliable arcade game without exceeding a budget of $40. It's unlikely that we, as college students, would make an arcade game out of solid titanium with a built-in microwave. So, since wood can easily be cut with the tools we had available, it was chosen as our medium. We considered using other materials such as cardboard, since it would be lighter and cheaper, but decided it wouldn't be as durable as we'd like. We also used a spring and metal rods for the launching mechanism of the ball, as well as a portable battery and 2 small display screens to keep track of the score with buttons on the side of the machine.
Essentially, we decided to use reliable, strong materials and simple mechanism, rather than a complex system that might break my mere wrong touch.
That's right, and once our brainstorming was complete, we landed on a final idea. We decided to construct a baseball simulator, basically a baseball-themed pinball machine. We also decided to include an electronic scoring system. The basic premise of the game is you get 3 tries to launch a ball and attempt to hit it into one of 3 holes with the flipper. Each hole is scored differently, 1, 3, and 5 points. You and another person play for a specified amount of innings and keep track of your score with the onboard electronic scoring system.
Next, it was time to build our prototype.
Here are the basic materials we used to construct our project. So as you can see, we have 2 pieces of plywood as well as a 1x3 board, and then we have also the mechanisms for the game to work. Here you can see the 1x3 board that we've cut and assembled together to form the edges of the box. Here we have the basic construction of the box finished with 1 piece of plywood as the bottom, and then the sides, and then remaining plywood left over that we screwed into the back. This next picture you can see little pieces of scrap that we put around the edge of the box, and that would be to elevate the other piece of plywood so that the ball will have space to roll back down as it goes through the holes. Here you can see the return mechanism as well as the flipper mechanism installed in the box. The return is literally just a slanted piece of scrap. Here's a picture of us screwing the back onto the sides of the box. And here's a little video of drilling some pilot holes. And here you can see the entire flipper mechanism. It uses a pivot on a nail as well as a spring to provide resistance for the little bat to move back and forth. Here's a video of the flipper mechanism operating.
The testing phase was the fun part. Since we made an arcade machine, the testing phase just consisted of us playing the game itself. We had to make sure the ball would not get stuck inside the ball return mechanism, so we made sure to test every which way in which the ball could enter the return mechanism. We also had to test the launcher and flipper mechanisms to make sure they were both fun and reliable to use.
To finish the machine off, we decided to paint and stain it instead of leaving the bare wood exposed. We stained the outside pieces and then spray painted the middle sheet of plywood. To make them easier to see, we painted the flipper and other parts constrained gold. Finally, we painted the details such as the baseball domain and paint volume in white, and tada, we were finished.
Once our team had sealed the deal, it was time for the big day, competition. Initially, we were surprised to see most of our competitors had used cardboard and popsicle sticks for their projects, whilst we had used solid metal and wood. Of course, the sacrificed durability and precision of others made an increased level of complexity. Many of our competitors had very flashy projects with many moving parts, awing the judges and sadly not landing us a place in the competition. We aren't complaining though. Our machine was built to last, not funneled to win. We are far from salty too, and at the end of the day, it was being with fellow engineers and seeing other fascinating projects that made the competition fun.
To all the younglings who shall follow in our footsteps on this project, here's some advice. Firstly, start early. We made the mistake of actually starting to build our project on the month of FEDD, which made it to where rather than having plenty of time to prototype and test our project and everything, we ended up only having a couple weeks. So we had to cram it in at the end. So start sooner rather than later.
Another issue we faced was meeting as a team. Since we all had conflicting schedules, we didn't meet often, which resulted in us procrastinating assignments. Our advice is to establish a firm weekly meeting time and stick to it.
Our last piece of advice is to be prepared for anything the day of FEDD. We had an issue at FEDD where the glue holding our flipper of our pinball machine started to loosen, which resulted in our machine being a lot harder than we wanted it to be. If we had brought the tools to fix this, it wouldn't have been an issue. So our advice is to bring the tools you need and to be prepared.